If you enjoy videos like this, subscribe to the channel before the video starts. The prison hall of the Xiphorian ship was cold and bright. Metal walls reflected white light. The air smelled of smoke and fear. Humans were lined up in the center of the hall, surrounded by alien guards with glowing weapons. They were prisoners. Some humans were injured. Some were crying. Some were begging for mercy. The Xiphorians watched them like broken tools. At the front of the hall stood Commander Zyra, an alien woman feared across many worlds. She was tall, her silver armor sharp and clean. Her eyes glowed blue, full of pride and power. She looked at the humans and smiled. "So these are the humans," she said calmly. "The species that thought it could fight us." A few humans shouted in anger. Others begged louder. Zyra laughed. "Weak," she said. "So loud. So emotional." Her eyes moved across the line of prisoners. Then she saw him. A human male stood near the back. He was not crying. He was not shouting. He was not even looking around. He stood still, his hands tied, his face calm. Silent. Zyra narrowed her eyes. She walked slowly toward him. Each step echoed through the hall. Guards watched closely, ready to act. When she stopped in front of him, she looked into his eyes. They were steady. Not empty. Not broken. "Human," Zyra said, "what is your name?" The man did not answer. The guards laughed. "He is scared," one guard said. "His mind has failed," said another. Zyra raised her hand, and the guards went silent. She leaned closer to the human. "Silence will not save you," she said. "Speak." Still nothing. The human only breathed slowly. Zyra felt a strange feeling in her chest. Fear was loud. Pain was loud. But this was different. She stepped back. "All humans break," she said. "You are no different." She turned to the guards. "Take him," she ordered. "We will see how long his silence lasts." As the guards pulled him forward, the human finally looked up at her again. And for a moment, Zyra felt uneasy. There was no fear in his eyes. Only patience. The doors of the prison hall closed behind them with a heavy sound. Commander Zyra told herself it meant nothing. Humans were weak. But deep inside, a small thought began to grow. Why would a weak creature stay silent, when it had every reason to scream? The room was darker than the prison hall. This was not a place for prisoners. This was a place for breaking minds. The silent human was tied to a single metal chair in the center. Soft blue light moved across the walls like slow water. Machines hummed quietly, waiting. Commander Zyra entered alone. She did not bring guards. That itself was a test. She walked in a slow circle around the human. He did not move. His eyes followed her calmly. "You are different," Zyra said. "Most humans beg by now." The human stayed silent. Zyra touched a control on her arm. A screen appeared, showing images of Earth. Cities burning. Ships falling from the sky. Human soldiers running. "We destroyed your defenses in hours," she said. "Your world is loud and weak." The human blinked once. "Nothing else?" Zyra felt anger rise. She increased the pain signal. The chair sent sharp waves through his body. Muscles tightened. Breath shook. Still, he did not scream. The room felt smaller. "How?" Zyra whispered, more to herself than to him. "How are you still quiet?" She stopped the machine. Silence filled the room. Then the human spoke. Not loudly. Not fast. "Because noise gives you control," he said. Zyra froze. His voice was calm. Almost gentle. "When someone screams," he continued, "you know you are winning. Zyra turned slowly. You think silence makes you strong? She asked. No, the human replied. It makes us ready. She laughed, but it sounded forced. Ready for what? She demanded. The human looked at the moving lights on the wall. For time, he said. Zyra felt a chill. Humans learn something early, he continued. We are not the strongest. We are not the fastest. He looked back at her. But we wait. Zyra stepped closer. You wait to die, she said. The human smiled slightly. We wait for mistakes. For the first time, Zyra looked away. She ended the session and turned toward the door. As it opened, alarms sounded faintly in the distance. Just for a second. Zyra paused. She looked back at the human. He had stopped talking again. And somehow, that silence felt louder than before. The Zyphorian command deck was in chaos. Red lights flashed across the walls. Screens showed unknown signals entering the system. Officers shouted reports that did not make sense. Commander Zyra stood still. She listened. Human codes detected, one officer said. That is impossible, another replied. They were prisoners. Zyra's mind returned to the silent human. The calm eyes. The slow voice. The warning hidden inside silence. Find him, Zyra ordered. Now! But it was already too late. Across the ship, doors unlocked at once. Control systems froze. Weapons went dark. The Zyphorian Empire, proud and powerful, suddenly felt blind. In the detention level, the human stood free. No guards. No alarms. Just quiet. He walked calmly through the hallway, not rushing. Humans moved with him, released from their cells one by one. They did not cheer. They did not shout. They moved like they had waited for this moment. On the command deck, the main screen changed. The human appeared. Standing straight. Hands free. Silent. Zyra stepped forward. You planned this, she said slowly. Yes, the human replied. How? She demanded. You had no weapons. No control. The human looked directly at her. We had time, he said. He continued, you watched our strength. You studied our ships. You never studied our patience. Behind him, human ships appeared in orbit. Not many. Not loud. Enough. Zyra felt something break inside her pride. You let us capture you, she realized. The human nodded. We needed to be close, he said. Silence helped. The deck was quiet now. No one spoke. The Zyphorians had ruled through fear. Through noise. Through power. Humans ruled this moment through control. You thought silence was weakness, the human said. But silence is where we think. He took a breath. When humans stopped talking, he added, we are not afraid. We are finished deciding. The screen went dark. Human forces took the ship without a single scream. Commander Zyra stood alone. For the first time in her life, she understood the truth. Humans were never weak. They were just quiet. And the quiet ones were the most dangerous of all.